What up, YouTube? T Movies here. On Tuesday, I'm actually going to be seeing the new Jay and Silent Bob film titled Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. And since it is directed by Kevin Smith, I decided to go ahead and do my top 10 favorite Kevin Smith movies. Because I'm actually a big Kevin Smith guy. I really quite get a kick out of his films. Like, his films are pretty cool, funny, and Kevin Smith himself seems like a cool guy. I mean, he is a major celebrity nerd. I mean, come on. He named his daughter Harley Quinn. So, yeah. And he's also directed a few TV shows as well. I mean, he did episodes of The Goldbergs. He did episodes of Supergirl, Flash. I mean, he's pretty big in the comic book genre. But anyway, here I'm mainly talking about his films. So, with that being said, here's my top 10 favorite Kevin Smith movies. All right. Coming in at number 10, it is Cop Out. Now, lots of people, poo-poo on this, say it's actually his worst film. I would admit it is probably his weakest flick, but I kind of get a kick out of Cop Out. It stars Bruce Willis as this, a veteran, a detective named Jimmy Monroe, who, needs money to pay for his daughter's upcoming wedding. So he ends up deciding to pretty much sell, his prize of 52 Pafco baseball card, and before he can turn it to cash, it ends up being stolen. So Jimmy and his partner named Paul, played by Tracy Morgan, try to confront the people. So they were trying to confront the people who stole his baseball card and all, because you don't mess with a man's baseball card. I mean, come on. Anyway, Cop Out, it's a dumb film, but I kind of get a kick out of it. You also got Sean William Scott is in this, Michelle Trachtenberg. You had Adam Brody, Marcus Wells is in this, Jason Lee, Fred Armisen. You had Rashida Jones, Jim Norton. I mean, it's a pretty funny film. I mean, it's not great or anything. It has its problems, and Kevin Smith also said that Bruce Willis was kind of rough to work with on set. I mean, I'm not going into any details because I don't know much about the details, but yeah. Anyway. Alright, coming in at number 9, it is Yoga Hosers. Now, also, people will probably say this is Kevin Smith's worst film as well, but it's actually pretty fun. It's also dumb, but I really got a kick out of Yoga Hosers. It's about these two, teenage yoga enthusiasts, played by Kevin Smith's daughter, Harley Quinn Smith, as well as Johnny Depp's daughter, Lily Rose Depp. And so, they end up joining forces with this legendary manhunter named Guy Lapointe, played by Johnny Depp, to battle these Canadian Nazis who take forms of deadly sausages and all. And this is, I mean, who knew that a film about Canadian Nazis could work out well? I mean, you even had Haley Joel Osment, who didn't have that much of a much screen time. He only had a flashback scene, and his scene was maybe a little messed up to say, but his scene was he looked like a mix of Adolf Hitler and Walt Disney. Haley Joel Osment had a weird part in this. He kind of played a Nazi here. I'll put it that way. And also, you had Justin Long was in this. Jason Mewes had a part in this. You also had Batman himself, Kevin Conroy, Tony Hale, Austin Butler, Ralph Garman. You had Adam Brody in this. Some pretty good cast members. I mean, Yoga Hosers, it's had some of its problems, but I get a kick out of it. And the music is also decent, too. So, I mean, if you guys haven't really seen Yoga Hosers yet, it's pretty fun. Alright, coming in at number 8 is actually one of his weirdest films. And that is the movie Tusk. Tusk is a weird flick. It stars Justin Long as this podcaster who decides to venture into the Canadian wilderness to interview this old man played by the late Micah Parks, who has a very extraordinary past. And so he ends up learning dark secrets, and he ends up getting captured by Micah Parks' character. And here's the messed up part. Micah Parks' character ends up turning Justin Long's character into a walrus. Yeah. It's a film about a guy who ends up getting turned into a walrus. I mean, I mean, this movie it's weird, and the way Justin Long gets turned into a walrus is just. I mean, a human walrus. I never really thought I ever want to see that, but I mean, it was pretty cool to see Justin Long in this period. Also, you also had Haley Joel Osment in this. He played like Justin Long's co-host and all. You also had Johnny Depp, who ended up playing Guy Lapone in this one as well. I mean, it was kind of odd that Kevin Smith was able to get Johnny Depp for this, and it's like Johnny Depp has been hit and misses lately. But my favorite recent Johnny Depp role is actually Guy Lapone in Tusk and Yoga Hosers. I thought Johnny Depp was great in these films, and I kind of hope Kevin Smith finish off his Canadian trilogies, and we see Johnny Depp as Guy Lapone again. I know he's planning to do this like one film where called Moose Shores, supposed to be is supposed to be like Jaws but with a moose. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I heard that like it was supposed to have Johnny Depp was supposed to be in this. Harley Quinn Smith, Lily Depp was supposed to be in that. I don't know if that's still on the table, but I'd be down to see it. To see that. Hey, Shores with a moose. That sounds interesting. But Tusk it's horror, but it's also comedy as well. You know, if you guys never really seen Tusk by now, give Tusk a go. It's also a pretty dumb film, but I really get a kick out of Tusk. All right, coming in at number 7, I'm going with Jersey Girl. Now, Jersey Girl stars Ben Affleck as this promoter named Ollie Trink, who is also who's both a workaholic and silver tongue expert at manipulating the President. And so, like, when he meets this woman named Gertrude Stanley, played by Jennifer Lopez, who's a booker for the New Yorker, they of course end up having a kid, but then Jennifer Lopez's character ends up dying in the beginning, and so he has to pretty much raise his kid, raise his daughter on his own and all. And this film also sort of predicted Ben Affleck as Batman, by the way. Like I'm not kidding. I think this movie actually predicted Ben Affleck being Batman, because there's like a scene where Ben Affleck has this vehicle and all, and he actually calls it the Batmobile. So yeah, I mean that kind of indicates that Kevin Smith knew that Ben Affleck was going to be Batman in the future. And you also had the late great George Carlin was in this. You had Liv Tyler, the one who played the his daughter in this. The actress name is Raquel Castro. I thought she was great. You even had cameos by Will Smith, Matt Damon, Jason Lee. Jersey Girl is actually one of his most I think it's one of his most underrated films, and it shows that Kevin Smith could do more than just stoner humor and all. I thought he did a great job with Jersey Girl. All right. And not to mention the father and daughter dynamic chemistry between Ben Affleck's character and his daughter in this was great. And kind of funny how Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez of course dated before, and before this they also did that movie Chile. It is saying that this movie ended up being a better film than Chile. Like, yeah. Anyway, coming in at number 6, speaking of Ben Affleck, but anyway, coming in at number 6, it is Chasing Amy. Now, Chasing Amy, is about this comic book writer who stumbles upon the love of his life, only to also discover that she is also gay, and so the situation ends up pretty much anyway, he actually ends up falling for his roommate and the partner as well, and the three leads are played by Ben Affleck, Joey Lauren Adams, and Jason Lee. You also have Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith also played Jay and Silent Bob in this. I mean, it's actually pretty funny. It's a nice rom-com film. The three leads all really gave great performances. They had great chemistry with one another. I mean, Chasing Amy is a really decent film. And not to mention, it is also the third film in the New Jersey trilogy. Yeah, there's actually a New Jersey trilogy that Kevin Smith did. So yeah, like he has a Canadian trilogy, and now he has a New Jersey trilogy. I mean, boy, he knows how to make interesting trilogies. All right, coming in at number 5, it is Dogma, which is another one of the Jersey trilogies. Like sometimes I can never really tell if he's from New Jersey or if he's from Canada. But anyway, now in Dogma, these two it's where like these two fallen angels were like ejected from paradise and find themselves banned in Wisconsin, and so like they are now headed for Jersey, where they end up finding a loophole that can like help them get back to heaven. And you got Lance Morissette as God herself. I mean, literally, she actually plays God in this. You had the late Alan Rickman was in this, the late George Carlin. You also had Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith as Jay and Silent Bob, of course. You had Salma Hayek was in this. You had Jason Lee, Janine Garofalo, Linda Lauren Rancho is pretty great. You also had, you even had Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were both in this. I mean, Dogma is a pretty fun flick, and it's really entertaining. Come on, Lance Morissette as God. What more can you ask for there? All right, coming in at number 4. All right, this is gonna be awkward to say out loud, but number 4 of my favorite Kevin Smith movie is called Zack and Mary Make a Porno. That's literally its title, and it's pretty much it stars Seth Rogen and Elizabeth Banks, who plays these two roommates who are buried like in mountain of debt. And so, in order to like pay money for their electric bill and all that, they decide to pretty much get into the adult film industry and start to make a porno. Yeah, and it's actually this movie doesn't even feel like a Kevin Smith film at times. It literally feels like a Judd Apatow film. Like, I mean, it does still has a Kevin Smith actors in this, but for some reason it feels more like a Judd Apatow flick. But but it has some pretty good cast members. Like you had Jason Mewes was in this. You had Tisha Campbell was also in this, and Tisha Campbell, by the way, I'd never heard her curse as much as she did in this movie. I mean, yeah, you also had Craig Robinson. You also had some adult film stars in this too. Like you had Katie Morgan. You had Tracy Lords was in this. I mean, come on, it's a film about two people making adult films. So obviously you're gonna get actual adult film stars in this. You also got Justin Long as Randy St. Randy. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I will literally watch a whole spin-off with just Randy St. Randy. And you even had Brandon Ralph in this as Randy St. Randy's boyfriend, if you will. Like, this movie was raunchy. I mean, it had loads of dirty humor. It's also a nice romantic comedy too. Like Seth Rogen and Elizabeth Banks, I thought those two were great together. I mean, check those two never really done another film together since Zack and Mary. And it's check that Seth Rogen and Kevin Smith never done another movie together since Zack and Mary. I mean, Zack and Mary is a really funny flick, and it is from the Weinstein Company, so yeah. But but yeah, I really got a kick out of Zack and Mary Make a Porno. And I'm not gonna lie, this is literally one Kevin Smith movie where I can watch over and over and never get bored of. It's hilarious. Like if you guys never really seen Zack and Mary Make a Porno yet, do yourself a favor, give it a go. It's a really funny flick. Alright. Coming in at number 3, it is Mallrats. Now, this is also a film that, that had a Stan Lee cameo. I'm this is a bit off topic, but like in the scene of Captain Marvel where it features Stan Lee's cameo where he's like reading a script. The script he was reading in that cameo is his Mallrats script. So Kevin Smith even admitted that scene actually made him tear up. and I could see why, you know. And Mallrats, it's a pretty much a comedy that takes place in a mall. And so you got Jeremy London, who plays this guy named T.S., who him and his best friend Brody, played by Jason Lee, ends up taking a trip to the mall after their girlfriend ends up breaking up with them. And so you got T.S.'s girlfriend named Brandy, played by Claire Forlani, ends up participating in a game show at the mall, which like ends up initially caused their breakup. And meanwhile, you got Brody's ex, named Renee, played by Shannon Doherty, who has like begun dating this store manager, played by Ben Affleck. And you also got Michael Rooker as Brandy's dad here. You also got Joey Lauren Adams is in this. Ethan Suplee. Most of Kevin Smith's regulars are in this. I mean, Mallrats, like, Kevin Smith has been trying to get a Mallrats sequel off the ground for years, but I don't know if it's ever going to happen. But Mallrats is great. It's really hilarious. A whole comedy that takes place inside a mall. What more can you ask for there? It also it's a film about friendship as well. Jason Lee is great in this. Jeremy London is great. Shannon Doherty is amazing. I mean, if you guys never really seen Mallrats by now, give Mallrats a go. It's awesome. Alright. Coming in at number 2, it's going to be a cop-out because I'm going to combine both films together. Number 2, I'm going with Clerks 1 and Clerks 2. Now, the first Clerks movie was actually was Kevin Smith's directorial debut, and the first Clerks is just hysterical. It's hilarious. It gave us our introduction of Jay and Silent Bob. And it stars Brian O'Halloran, who plays this guy named Dante, who ended up being caught into cover a ship at his New Jersey convenience store on his day off. So like his friend named Randall, played by Jeff Anderson, helped him to pass the time and all by neglecting his video store customers next door to hang out at the quick stop and all. And so Dante also ends up overstaying with his current girlfriend named Veronica, played by Marilyn Galilati, and they also as well as end up reuniting with his ex named Caitlin, played by Lisa Spoonholler. Now this was pretty much a cult classic when it got released. It got released in 1995. Clerks still holds up. People will probably say that this is their favorite Kevin Smith movie, but my number one, I kind of like it a little better. And Clerks 2, we had Rosario Dawson in the sequel. We had Brian O'Halloran and Jeff Anderson returning. Clerks 2 I probably prefer more than the first Clerks. Both films are so great. I really love the Clerks movies. And not so long ago, it was announced that Kevin Smith is moving forward with a third Clerks film. But, of course, I'll believe that when I see it, but we'll see. Alright. Now, my number one favorite Kevin Smith movie of all time, I'm seeing the sequel on Tuesday, so it's only appropriate that I add it in my number one list. Alright, my number one favorite Kevin Smith movie of all time is Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. This is seriously a Kevin Smith movie I could watch over and over and over and never get bored of it. I just love Jay and Silent Bob. It ended up being a spin-off with Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith coming back as Jay and Silent Bob. And this time, they play of course, Jay and Silent Bob, where they end up discovering that they're making a movie about their alter egos, Bluntman and Chronic. And so they also want to stop the movie from being made because because of internet trolls. So also Kevin Smith predicted internet trolls, by the way. Let me just put it there also. And you even had Ben Affleck was in this. I mean, it was pretty funny seeing Ben Affleck in this actually, because there's a scene where Ben Affleck was talking about people trolling movies and all. And years later, people ended up trolling Ben Affleck when he was cast as Batman. So, but anyway, in it, Jay and Silent Bob end up pretty much, traveling to LA to the Miramax lot to stop the movie from getting made. And along the way, they end up encountering girl gangs, hitchhikers. Uh, they also encounter a chimpanzee. They encounter cops. I mean, one of the cops, by the way, is played by Will Ferrell, who was hilarious here. And you also had Shannon Elizabeth was great in this, Eliza Dushku. You also had Jason Lee, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Sean William Scott, Jason Biggs, George Cullen, Carrie Fisher, Wes Craven. You had Chris Rock, James Van Der Beek, Morris Day, Mark Hamill was in this, Jamie Kennedy, Jon Stewart, loads of great cast members. Like there was great cameos in this. I mean, Jay and Silent Bob is just awesome, man. And to me, it's definitely Smith's best work he's ever done, and cannot wait to see Jay and Silent Bob reboot. I mean, I already got my ticket. Seeing it on Tuesday. Fingers crossed, it's going to be awesome. Because I mean, I don't know. I probably won't expect it to be as good as the first Jay and Silent Bob, but I'm expecting it to be pretty decent. I quite like the trailer, so. And come on, the opening scene with Jay's rap, and I mean, I can really remember lots of lines, like lots of scenes and lines from this movie. It's just awesome, and if you guys never really seen Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back by now, go give it a go. I mean, the stoner humor is just hilarious. I do love me a good stoner comedy. So, all right, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. 10. Cop Out. 9. Yoga Hosers. 8. Tusk. 7. Jersey Girl. 6. Chasing Amy. 5. Dogma. 4. Zack and Mary Make a Porno. 3. Mallrats 1 and 2. Oh wait, 3 Mallrats. 2. Clerks 1 and 2. My bad. And 1. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Now, he also did that movie Red State. That's an okay one. He had directed an episode, like a segment, that horror film at holidays. Kevin Smith's the man. I just love his work. Anyway, let me leave it to you guys. What are some of your favorite Kevin Smith movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is C Movie signing off.